Good day, everyone. Welcome to Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanas. Today's date is January 4th, 2022, first day of the new year. And Happy New Year, everybody. And this is episode 94, season 4. And today I will do a special episode. I am going to talk about Betty White, and I'm going to do a tribute episode of her and talk about my memories of watching her on television. And it should be sad and a lot of fun. Okay, and first off, we're going to start off with a commercial. And this program is brought to you by Geritol. And here's a commercial with Betty White advertising Geritol in 1954, one of the earliest commercials she ever done on television. So here we go.
Let's talk about you a little bit. How are you feeling? Are you feeling as good as we feel today? I sincerely hope so. But I'd especially like to talk to you housewives and mothers and you really busy gals that just keep going all the time. Sometimes as you go about your daily routine, you get the feeling that you just don't have enough energy to finish out the day. Well, if you do feel that way, or anybody in your family feels that way, don't just ignore it and wait for it to go away. It's a better idea to check with your doctor. Because remember, that weak, run-down condition may be due to undernourished blood. Doctors have a special name for it. They call it iron deficiency anemia. But we call it tired blood. And to feel stronger fast, I wish you'd give Geritol a try. This is the fast-acting, high-potency tonic that we've been telling you so much about that really begins to strengthen iron-poor, tired blood in just 24 hours. That's all it takes, just one day, for Geritol iron to be in your bloodstream, carrying strength and energy to every part of your body. And just 2 tablespoons, just this little bit, contains twice the iron in a pound of calf's liver. And it's good tasting, too. So if you do feel weak and run down, or if anybody in your family complains of similar problems, get Geritol, either the liquid or the tablets, at your drugstore today. You'll feel stronger fast. In 7 days or your money back. Just be sure that you get what you ask for, Geritol. Geritol. Believe me, you will feel stronger fast. And 2, don't forget, mothers, you can get Geritol Junior. It's just as effective for your children as regular Geritol is for you.
Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial. Geritol is a product that's still around. I never used it, but I don't know anyone else have used it. But this product was ridiculed a lot when I was growing up on television shows, variety shows, because it's associated with old people. And, as they get older, your energy depletes. It decreases. And I heard it's very good. It helps because if you have an iron deficiency, like I do, it does help a lot. But I asked my doctor a long time ago if I could use it. And he said, yeah, but you better stick with the vitamin B12 shots. And I still get those every month. I probably get that for the rest of my life. So that helped. And I've been taking them since I was 12 years old. That helped a lot, and because I'm anemic, so I need to receive the shots and also eat certain foods with iron, like liver. A lot of people don't like liver. I like it. I really do. And also cereal, because it has that folic acid, and I love cereal. I really do. So that helps a lot, and it helps me. Like I said, it helps me gets me going and with the energy. Okay. First off, I want to talk about something else. Before we get started to talk about Betty White, I want to mention one thing, that today is the anniversary of my father's death. And he died on January 4th, 2006. It's 16 years ago today, and I still miss him. He's one of those fathers that he would drive you crazy no matter what he said or did, but you still miss him. He's my father and I loved him, but we never agreed on anything. He didn't like what I did, and later on he said, do what makes you happy. In the beginning, he didn't understand that, and a lot of parents are like that. They want their children to succeed, and they just pick out a career for you, a doctor or a lawyer. I didn't want that. Not interested. So, but he was a good father, and he never took me anywhere, never took me like ball games or places, but he took me to his place of business one time. He worked at the Conrad Hilton Hotel on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, that was a fun day. I liked that. So I was surprised he did that. So, and then, but he worked very hard. He worked nights at the hotel. He was in room service, and he owned a couple properties. And we always had a roof over our heads. We had we had a meal on the table every day. He supported my mom, two of my brothers, and he put us through college. Because he regretted, because his own mother did not send him to school. I don't understand why. And he hated that. I almost wanted to drop out of college, but he was so angry. He told me, "No, don't end up like me. Please don't do that." I gave some thought, and he was right. So, and that made him very happy when that I and my brothers graduated from college. It made him very happy. So I miss him. I really do. And so anyway, his birthday's coming up on January 20th. So that's kind of a hard. You have his death and his birthday coming up in the same month. No, I'm sorry. His birthday's February. That was stupid. Why did I think of January 20th? It's February 20th. Okay. It's a rough morning. Anyway, okay. Right now we're going to talk about Betty White. And she passed away on New Year's Eve, 2021, at the age of 99. And she was going to turn 100 on January 17th, but that didn't happen. So she needed 17 days to go. And there was some big events coming up, and I heard there was a documentary about her life, and they were going to do tributes on television, magazines, the whole works. They're still going to do that. So we look forward to that. So I'm going to talk about her life, her beginnings, and also my memories of watching her on TV. Okay. So we'll start off where she was born. And a lot of people know that she was born in Oak Park, Illinois, outside of Chicago. But the funny thing is, she left Oak Park when she was a little over a year old. So yeah, but she was raised in California, and she was an only child. Her mother's name was Christine. Her father's name was Horace. And her mother, her grandfather was Greek on her mother's side. A lot of people assume that she was 100% Greek or she was half Greek. No, she was not. It's only tiny, because her other grandfather was Danish, and her grandmothers were both from Canada. They were English Welsh. So I don't know. When sometimes people exaggerate, I should know who people like that, especially Greek people. They start one story and then it blows up, and it isn't true. So yeah, so she has some Greek blood. It's nice. I doubt she knew anything about cooking or anything like that. I doubt it. So she moved to. So she was born on January 17th, 1922, and then then a year later, her family moved to Alhambra, California. That was during the and later she attended at Beverly Hills High School, and then I think she caught the acting bug at the school, and so she did some singing and dancing, and then she started working on the radio. Yeah, she was a radio actress. She did bit parts, out in Los Angeles, and she also had her own radio show called The Betty White Show. She had other shows named after her. And her first television appearance was in 1949, called Hollywood on Television, believe it or not. And she had her own TV shows. And also there was one, she had her first TV show, was called Life with Elizabeth. And you can find that show on DVD somewhere if you do a search on Amazon or any eBay. And it ran for, it ran for 3 seasons. And, was one of the few women who, she had full creative control of the show. So she was a producer, and that's amazing. Just like Lucille Ball, when she did I Love Lucy. So, and she did other television appearances, dramatic shows. Oh, there's so many. There's so countless ones she did. She was a very busy woman. And then she had her own talk show, also The Betty White Show. And she did that. And so that didn't last very long. It lasted about a year, I think, a year or two. And then she appeared on another sitcom called Date with Angels. And it was like a kind of a fantasy show in a way. And according to some sources, she didn't like the show very much. She wanted to get out of it, but she was being very respectful and says, no, I will honor my contract and I'll stay, but she hated it. And that one also is on DVD somewhere, so if you do an internet search, do a Google search, that is, you could find it. Okay. And, one more thing. When she lived in Oak Park, I found this photo on Twitter. Someone posted the apartment building where she lived, with her parents. And it was at 218 Pleasant Street in Oak Park. And I looked on the map. It looked like a very nice building. Someday maybe I'll take a ride and go take a look at it. And she was on the 3rd floor, 3A. So I don't know if she visited Chicago when she was alive. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. And I know for one thing, she's visited and she had a few books published. She wrote a few books. She did a book tour and she appeared at Marshall Fields in 1988, around after the second season of The Golden Girls. And there was a photo on Facebook, and someone took a picture of her when she was doing book signing, and it was at Marshall Fields, like I said before, and that was beautiful. That really was. And I don't know if she had family here still. I doubt it. I don't know. Anyway. Then she did more guest stars on television shows and then also game shows. She appeared on What's My Line, To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret, and then she appeared on Password. And that's where she met her third husband, Alan London. He was the host of the show. And when the show started, he was a widower. His wife died of cancer, and he had 3 children. And before I get into Alan London, Betty White was married before. A lot of people didn't know that. She was married twice. Let's see, I can get you the names of the husbands. And they were very brief. So her first husband's name was Dick Barker. And he was a pilot from the Air Force. And they moved to Ohio, and he owned a chicken farm. And the man he just wanted a simple life, but Betty did not want that. She wanted She was a career woman. She wanted to continue with that, and that didn't pan out. So they came back to LA and they got divorced. Then she married a man named Lane Allen. He was a talent agent and actor. They were married for only 2 years and got married in 1947, divorced in 1949 because he wanted a family and she didn't. So that's a big red flag for that. And there were times, and then during that period, she didn't want to get married at all. And then until she appeared on Password, she fell in love with Alan London. And then they got married 2 years later in 1963. And he proposed to her twice, and she turned him down, but finally did, and she never regretted it. And so they had a long life together until Alan London died in 1981. He had stomach cancer. And that was sad because I remember watching that when there were other hosts. I remember on Password, there was Bert Convey, he hosted Tattletales. He took over, and I think Tom Kennedy. So that was hard. And the show continued. The game show. It's one of my favorite game shows. I love that. If you see reruns, sometimes they had them on the Buzzard TV channel or Game Show Network, you would find them. And you would see Password. They have them black and white and color. They had some fascinating guest stars from the 60s and 70s. Oh, I loved it. It was fun. Okay. And then we'll talk about, okay, right now I'm going to play a commercial with Betty White. It's for Spray and Wash, and that's from 1976. And after that, I will talk about her two famous roles in television, and it's from The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Golden Girls. So here is, like I said, the 1976 commercial for Spray and Wash featuring Betty White. And here we go.
A big dog, a little boy, and an oily telephone pole can really mess up a new jacket.
Mrs. Janet String wrote this letter to tell us about it.
Tommy was miserable. He had just been awarded that football jacket. Thank goodness Spray and Wash removed that oily mess, because a special jacket like this could never be replaced.
Not only tough stains, but everyday stains can ruin clothes too, So use Spray and Wash. Get rid of the stains instead of the clothes.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial for Spray and Wash. I remember this commercial when she did that. She also Spray and Wash was from a company called Texsize, but I think it's been bought out by other companies. And there were other products during the late 60s and 70s that Texsize made. One was, I believe, Janitor in the Drum, Fantastic, and K2R. That was a spot remover. And I can't think of the other one. Something called Grease something. I don't know. Can't think of the top of my head. And okay. So next I'm going to talk about her two famous roles from Mary Tyler Moore Show and The Golden Girls. And for the Mary Tyler Moore Show, she portrayed Sue Ann Nivens. And this was not like Betty White in real life. So, I loved her in that role. It was hilarious. She was hilarious. You always saw her as very sweet, very friendly, very personable, but the character was not. She was man hungry. She will stab you in the back and very, how would I say this? She was an opportunist, and she was the happy homemaker, and she was not on every week. It was like she was a semi-regular. So there were weeks when I watched the show, she wasn't there. I kind of missed her, but when she showed up, she was gold. I loved her, and there were a couple of classic episodes of her. And she was also after Lou Grant, played by Ed Asner. Those were funny, and she always insulted people, especially Murray Slaughter, who was played by Gavin McLeod. She did the ball jokes. So that role was beautiful. I love when she played that role. And She was only there for 3 years. She was only there for, I think, 4 seasons until the show ended in 1977. So, and she was good friends with Mary Tyler Moore. They were very good friends. And I still watch the show. It's on DVD. It's hilarious. I love it. When you start watching the first episode, you got to watch the rest all the way at the end. It's kind of like a soap opera in a way, because they had wonderful characters, good stories, funny lines. And Betty White made it better. She made it better. Okay. Next up is the Golden Girls. Now, we all know the Golden Girls, and I love that. And you know what? That show is a classic. I love that show. And starred 4 women who shared a house in Miami. You had the classic characters. You had Rose, Blanche, Dorothy, and her mother, Sophia. And I don't know. My favorite character was Dorothy, played by Bea Arthur, and she played she played on Maude, which I love that show. So I like Maude better in that show, But she was great in Golden Girls. But Golden Girls is a phenomenon, and people still watch it to this day. I love it. I have it on DVD. I don't watch it all the time because I don't get tired, So I watch another show first. Another TV show, and then if I get tired of that, then go and then watch, like, for example, Golden Girls. Anyway, and Betty White's character was Rose Nyland. She lives in St. Olaf, Minnesota. Doesn't exist there. And she didn't play like the Sue Ann Nivens type. She wasn't man-hungry. She was kind of a ditz. And she told goofy stories from Minnesota and all these crazy recipes she cooked. But she had a good heart. Her character was kind and generous, and probably one of the most sensible people at times. But the Dorothy character was like that. But she was tough. She was from New York. We expect, just like her mother. And the show started from 1985 through 1992, and then they started in the Golden Palace. That was the sequel. Only for 1 year. Bea Arthur did not appear, but she made a guest star. And there was I remember one classic episode. It doesn't really matter with Betty. Wasn't related to Betty White, but it was with Sophia, where she got a part-time job working at a fast food restaurant. And she came home and her and her coworkers demanded the manager that she get more breaks, but the manager was like a tyrant, didn't need him too hard. And then Sophia said to the girls, we need more time to, for our break, like 10, 15 minutes. And Dorothy said, well, what's wrong with that? Why do you need that long? And she said, are you kidding? It takes too long to drop our pantyhose to go to the bathroom in the stalls. When she said that, it was hilarious. I loved it. So it's a wonderful show. It really is. And Betty White played it in perfection. All the women had won Emmys, for their acting. So that's good. Okay. And then when I found out the news that Betty White died, it was sad, and it was very sad. So she was with us forever. And whenever you turn on TV, there she was. There she was. And she was a great animal lover. She loved dogs, loved animals. And she had her own TV show called Pet Set, and where a celebrity would bring a pet, a dog, a cat, usually that. And then they sat down with Betty White and they talked, and it's on DVD right now, and I heard about that show. I really did. So, that's it's too bad. I really loved her. She was a great performer, great lady. Okay. That'll be all for today for Betty White. I'm glad you can join me. Thank you for listening for this special episode. This is Pete Costanes with Vanishing Congoland Stories, the podcast, episode 94, season 4. I will probably do another episode very soon, maybe Thursday or Saturday. I got to figure out what I'd like to discuss. But, it's the new year, so I have a lot of topics. And a lot of people have suggested. They've sent me messages or commented on my social media accounts. Please do this. Please do an episode of this. Please do an episode of that. I'll see. I have a couple in mind, so we shall see. Okay, and so it's just January. We got plenty of time. Okay, so thank you for joining me. And I mentioned that before. And I hope everyone have a great day. And bye-bye for now from me. And here's Ray Rayner saying bye-bye for now. Take care, everybody. So long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.